Hey everyone, so let's just jump right in, shall we? We're going to tackle one of the biggest, most fundamental questions we can ever ask ourselves. What is philosophy? Okay, so to really get at the heart of this, I want to start with this really powerful poem. It tells us something so profound. Whether your mind is filled with religion, symbolized here by Ram, or political ideology like Mao, any kind of deep thought can only begin when a basic need is met. And what's that need? A full stomach. If you're starving, you're not dreaming of gods or governments, are you? You're dreaming of bread. And that right there, that simple idea, that's the key. That's the very origin of philosophy. It's what happens when our bellies are full and our minds finally have a little breathing room to just wander. You know? It's that moment of contemplation that only starts when you stop worrying about your next meal and you can finally just look up at the stars and wonder, what is all of this? So let's take that idea and just zoom way, way out. Let's go from a single person with a full stomach to our entire species. Because to really understand how we even got the ability to ask these huge questions, you gotta put it on a truly cosmic timeline. And just look at this. The scale is, well, it's staggering. The universe has been around for almost 14 billion years. And for most of human history, we were just trying to survive, nomadic hunter-gatherers. But then something massive changed. The agricultural revolution, just 10,000 years ago. That was the real game changer. For the first time, we had a surplus of food, which meant we also had a surplus of time. And those two things, that's the secret sauce, the essential ingredients for any kind of deep thinking. But hang on, even before we started farming, something absolutely incredible happened. If we rewind a bit to about 75,000 years ago, our species, Homo sapiens, went through what historians call the cognitive revolution. It was this profound, fundamental shift in our brains and our mental abilities that just completely set us apart from every other living thing on this planet. And this revolution, this is what gave us the minds we have today. Suddenly, we had this incredible power of imagination. We could think about things that weren't right in front of us, abstract thought. We developed complex language to share these wild new ideas. But the most important thing, the absolute biggest deal, we gained the ability to ask that simple, tiny, world-changing question, why? Why is the sky blue? Why do we have to die? Who am I? So, let's put it all together. We've got the ability to ask why, thanks to the cognitive revolution, and we've got the time to actually think about the answers, thanks to the agricultural revolution. With those two pieces in place, humanity finally started to build a kind of toolkit, a structured way to chase after understanding, and we call that tool philosophy. So yeah, here's the formal textbook definition. But what's really cool is where the word itself comes from. It actually comes to us from two incredibly rich ancient traditions, and they complement each other beautifully, each with its own unique take on what this whole quest is all about. Okay, so let's break this down. In the West, the word we use comes from two Greek words, philos, which means love, and sophia, which means wisdom. So philosophy is literally the love of wisdom. It's this active, passionate pursuit of knowledge. It's a chase. But the Indian tradition gives us a totally different angle with the word darshan. It comes from a root word that means to see. It's not about chasing something. It's about a deep, profound act of perceiving reality as it truly is. And this idea of darshan is so beautiful. It's not just about, seeing with your physical eyes. It's about perceiving the hidden truths, the stuff that lies just beneath the surface. It's about seeing with what's called the Gyan Chakshu, the eye of knowledge. It's like you're learning to read between the lines of reality itself. How cool is that? So, you might be wondering, okay, that's cool, but how do philosophers actually do this stuff? Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's not about a bunch of confusing, stuffy subjects. At its absolute core, philosophy is a process, a method of asking questions. And you can really break it all down into three simple, logical questions that build on each other. The key here is the flow, the sequence. It's a logical journey. First, you start with metaphysics. This is the biggest question of all. What is ultimately real? What is this universe even made of? Then, once you have some ideas about that, you move to epistemology, which asks, okay, but how do we know that? How can we be sure? And then finally, that leads you to axiology. This is the so what question. It's the practical part. Given what's real and given how we know it, how should we live our lives? What's the right way to act? See how they all connect?
All right, so we've just rocketed through billions of years of history, ancient traditions, and I get it. You might be thinking this all sounds super grand, very academic. But here's the thing. The most important part of this entire story is how it all comes back directly to you.
So let's ask it straight up. Who gets to be a philosopher? Is it just some guy with a long beard and a PhD? Someone sitting in an ivory tower thinking deep thoughts all day? Who really gets to own that title? The answer? You are. Seriously. We are all philosophers. It's not some fancy academic title you have to earn. It's a fundamental human act. Think about it. Every single time you pause and just ask why, every time you question something everyone else takes for granted, or you just wonder about some deeper meaning, in that moment, you are doing philosophy. And maybe that's the most important thing to take away from all this. The great philosopher Socrates left us with this beautiful, kind of mind-bending paradox. He said that true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. And what he meant was, real wisdom isn't about having all the answers, not all. It's about recognizing just how much we don't know, and then having the courage and that love of wisdom to just keep on asking the questions.